So now I want to talk about the rating criteria for the bridges. With the bridges, this is a two-step process. As I talked about in the existing bridge information worksheet, there is a local bridge priority index. Here you can see on this table of how that is calculated and what that is based on. So initially, all the projects are ranked by the LBPI. The second step is a review by New York State structures experts and representatives from town and or county highway superintendents associations. The first thing they will be looking for is whether the project completed the draft application pre-review. This is a yes or no question. You either get bonus points or no points. And for the bridges, they're looking to see if there is a certification letter that a PE did a quality assurance review of the application. So again, this is a yes or no. In order to receive the bonus points, that letter needs to be attached to the application. The review team is also looking at the delivery risk. This information comes right out of the notice of funding availability. So they are going to rate the information in the application and give your rating is based on this information here. They are also going to look at infrastructure need and economic competitiveness. Once the individual teams have made their own scores for each project, there will be a consensus review meeting to develop a single rating for each project. And this also is given in the NOFA. So that was the process for bridges. The process for culverts is similar but slightly different. This is only a one-step process. As I stated before, we do not have the data for the culverts to calculate a local bridge priority index. So that step is skipped for the culverts. So again, there's a review by New York State DOT structures experts and representatives from the town and or county highway superintendents. They review applications independently. The first thing they do is see whether the project had a draft application pre-review. And this is a yes or no score. In order to get the bonus points, they need to attach the comment sheet to their final application. And then this is exactly the same as for the bridges. The independent review by each team member will include delivery risk, infrastructure need, and economic competitiveness. Once the individual teams have finished with their ratings, there will be a consensus review to develop a single rating for each project. So what is the draft application pre-review process? This is an opportunity for New York State DOT to review sponsors' draft applications prior to the final submission deadline. This is a formal process. Draft applications need to be submitted to BridgeNY at dot.ny.gov prior to the pre-review deadline. Written comments will be provided back to sponsors. So just to clarify when a pre-review is required and is not required. So the draft application pre-review submittal is required for culvert submissions where sponsors would like New York State DOT to administer the project. The pre-review is also required for bridge or culvert submissions that are not owned by the sponsor. So the draft application pre-review submittal is not required for bridge or sponsor-administered culvert projects. So if a sponsor is doing their own bridge or culvert project, or any bridge project, then a pre-review is not required. We do strongly encourage that sponsors participate in the draft application pre-review process, as bonus points will be available and this will help you make a better application. So here are the deadlines for the pre-review process. So draft applications are due March 15th for culverts and March 29th for bridges. New York State DOT will take 15 days to review the application and provide comments back to the sponsors. So you will be receiving comments back on or before March 30th for culverts and April 13th for bridges. The draft applications do not need to have a digital signature, but the draft applications should be as complete as possible to receive the best comments possible. As with the final applications, we ask that you use the naming convention given in the application for the PDF, which is shown here. And as with the final applications, we will be extracting data from the PDF, the fillable form. So please submit the electronic PDF fillable form and do not scan the application. So draft applications are to be submitted to the BridgeNY email address as shown here, and we will send confirmation emails stating receipt of the application, and this will be within 1 working day. It is not an automatic reply. So now I'm going to go over the comment form. This is the form that you will receive back after you had submitted through the pre-review process. The first part of the form is says who the sponsor is and who the responsible point of contact information. So the person filling out this form is going to fill this information out exactly as what was submitted. The same thing with the estimate. This will be filled out to reflect what was submitted at the pre-review stage. And this is so that the people doing the final reviews will be able to see what changes were made from the pre-review to the final submission. Now, we will be giving comments regarding the scope of the project. So the first thing to be filled out by the pre-reviewer is the project scope described in the application appropriate? So that's yes, no, maybe they have to choose from. And then the scope review, they have to pick one of the 4 following statements, stating that the adequate information was provided to confirm that the scope stated in the application is reasonable. Scope seems reasonable. More information would better justify the scope. Scope may need to be adjusted to address existing conditions, or not enough information was provided to confirm scope stated in the application. Now, depending on which of these 4 statements is chosen, there's a spot below there where the commenter can fill out and give more information of what specifically may have been missing. Similar with the estimate. Does the cost estimate include the appropriate phases of design and construction? Yes, no, or maybe. And enough adequate information was provided to confirm estimate. Estimate seems reasonable. Estimate may need to be adjusted, or not enough information was provided. And again, there's a blank space where the pre-reviewer can give specific project comments to help you better your application with regards to the estimate. The next one is delivery risk. Was enough information provided to assess the delivery risk? Yes, no, maybe. Adequate information was provided. More information would help clarify the risks, or not enough information was provided to determine the risks. And then again, a specific spot is given where reviewers can provide project-specific comments. And then there's one big empty spot where reviewers can provide any comments to let you know what type of information that may have been missing or vague in the application, and providing this information in your submitted application will provide reviewers with a better understanding of the project. So that's what the comment form looks like that you're going to get back. Now the question is, how do you use these comments to make your application better for the final submittal? So there's really one of two things you need to do. If the comment is accurate, you need to adjust your application to address the inaccuracy. So for example, if the comment was cost for construction inspection was not included in the application, when you look back at your application and maybe construction inspection was not considered. So construction inspection costs can be added to the application, and that's how you can make that a better application. If the comment was inaccurate, or it shows that the reviewer did not understand the intent, you need to add comments or explanations to your application so that the final reviewer will not make that same misunderstanding. So the same comment, costs for CI were not included in the application. Example adjustment to the application would be county has PE on staff and will be self-performing CI for this project. So that shows the final reviewer that no, you did not include CI cost, but you intend to pay for that on your own. So you are aware that there are CI costs and you have addressed that.